I am Sapun Chaudhary from Kolkata, India, and I started playing tabla when I was 5. I started learning, and since then I am playing tabla. At the same time, I had to do my general education too. I did my master's in economics and also master's in music. And then in 1981, I came to the Bay Area. I was requested and offered as a director of percussion at Aliabur College of Music. And since then, I am here in the Bay Area and teaching probably thousands of students so far for last, almost 40 years. Tabla is it's a hand drums. One set of hand drums means the right side drum is people who are right-handed. For them, it's called tabla, and the left-hand drum, which is the bass drum, is called baya. So it's tabla and baya, but we always say about just tabla. And this instrument actually, so far what we've seen that it started in 17th century, but now there's a lot of musicologists and ethnomusicologists. They did their research work, found out that this instrument started from 13th century. The most interesting thing about tabla is that it is based on language. So tabla has its own language. And so when we create the rhythm goes through the language. It's like creating a poetry. So all these meters are there. So that's why tabla is so interesting. If you want to do anything in your life, not only music, first thing is that you have to have love for that subject. So for music, in my experience, that if you have a love, then what happens that your concentration goes into it, and you have to be dedicated and discipline yourself. So what does that mean, discipline in the music? That discipline brings that focus and also practice. So when these two things work together, then ultimately the result is successful. If I teach in India, the thing is that the system, the society is different. The culture is different.
Yeah.
And when I'm teaching here, I'm teaching the same thing, but I go according to the culture, according to the system. And that works. But if you are, say, you are teaching African music, you are from Africa, and the way that African musician was taught, if he follows that in this country, then there will be a clash. So you have to go according to the culture side and also the system. Then it works. The student can understand it better, because for students it takes a little time to get into it. So in the beginning you have to teach in such a way that it will be easier for them to understand what is happening. If somebody wants to learn a language, for example, that person may be Indian or German or English or American, does not matter. If that person wants to do it, then he can do it. He has to work it out, right? And so I don't see any difference now, particularly now, because all the Westerners are playing very good Indian music right now. And so I'm proud of that. And so I don't see any difference uh, between the cultures, that side or this side. It's all the same. When I came over here, as my assignment was to teach and perform, of course. So, that was the reason that I had to stay here for a while. But yes, of course, it was kind of a shock, very shock to me because it's new culture. So I had to adopt that culture, and it took little time for me. Um, but when I got through that, then it was fine. Well, there are a lot of events happen, like playing with Ravi Shankar in Lincoln Center, playing with the great maestro Ustad Ali Akbar Khan in UNESCO. Um, and I also collaborated with different musicians. I did a lot of albums with different musicians. One of them was Stevie Wonder, which I did his last album. I played with him, and that was kind of very interesting story because I am a faculty. I was the chairman of Whole World Music at CalArts, California Institute of Performing Arts in Valencia, Los Angeles, which is actually Walter Disney's conservatory. And I'm still there as a faculty now. And so I was teaching over there, and then I got a call from Stevie Wonder's secretary that he had a recording that night, and so he wanted me to join with him. And I said that I am going back to the Bay Area, and if he is really interested with me, tell him to call me. And sure enough, within 5 minutes, Stevie Wonder called me and told me what is the project, what he's trying to do, and all this stuff. And then I accepted. And so we had all night recording session, and it was great. And he was a wonderful person and wonderful musician, and it clicked with me, and he liked me very much and asked me to do more project with him later on, and I agreed. We should not think about music just to be a profession. Music is a thing, it's a very inner meaning, deep inner meaning. It makes you calm down, it gives you more peace and happiness. So if you are happy and peaceful, you can do a lot of things. And that's what we need now. There's a reason because these two Indian musicians, great musician, came to the Bay Area. Not only Bay Area, but all in. They choose California. One was the great Pandit Ravi Shankar, but Ravi Shankar chose Southern California, Los Angeles, and the great maestro Ustad Ali Akbar Khan, who chose to be in the Northern California. So, and it's because of them, this whole Indian philosophy, Indian concept, not only music, but philosophy, political science, language, poetry, painting, everything concentrated in California. And the Bay Area particularly, because Bay Area people were very interested about different culture. and and that was the reason that in 70s, or 60s, I would say, from 60s, when Beatles they started learning Indian music, and the other groups too, different groups those days. Uh, uh, Here was Jerry Garcia. So it's because of that the other people got interested and they thought that let's try this. And then when they started learning this music, they found that it's a vast ocean and it has so much love and peace and happiness. And that was the reason that everybody concentrated on the Bay Area and it flourished. That's why most of the Indian music is happening. That's in the Bay Area and Los Angeles. But I still feel like the Bay Area is most uh, Indian music is happening here. I think Indian music as in general, I think it's the truth. So you cannot hide the truth. So whether it's Indian music or Western music, or music will be there. And Indian music, yes, it's flourishing because the newer generation is coming. The younger generation, they are very talented people, and now lots of Americans, Europeans, people, the kids are now studying tabla, and they are also coming up. And I think that this music will never die. It will flourish wherever it is, whether it's in America or in Europe or India, does not matter. It's everywhere. I am one of the senior most musicians now. And so what I feel about music is what I said, that music is very pure and it will never die. And that's why it will bring peace and happiness to everybody.